Welcome back. Today we finished the cathedral. There's no way up here, so it's only downward. And as you can see, this is back on the first floor, back at the entrance. I'm going to go and do some things. First off, burn off the other grimoires. It is at this point that I begin to realize that something is missing in my life. Just creeping into the back of my head. It is now that I'm getting frustrated. Anyway, now that I have some stuff, I can make the penultimate shield. Strangely enough, I thought that I could just toss fluted things together and get hoplites. I was mistaken. Also, oddly enough, despite the detail that they put in this game, the hoplite shield doesn't have the Spartan lambda on it. Not, obviously it's not a deal breaker, it's just kind of confusing. Let's take a road not yet traveled. As soon as I can actually grab on. Now you can see it's actually night now. This is an interesting one. As you can see, we've got three different cloudstones, 3 different speeds. And surprisingly, I did not need Fixate to navigate it. We now meet, in my opinion, the worst boss in the cathedral. As you can see from his portliness, and despite what looked like dark magic, this is Tao the Earth Elemental Diva. Tao, as far as I can tell, is not actually a djinn of mythology. It's just another, it's what they came up with for D&D. As you can see, this guy is fast. In hindsight, this is probably the one fight where you really would want a fairy wing. You also would want a weapon with a little bit more range than a one-handed sword. Because of crap like this. He's just out of range for the most part for much of the fight if he gets so inclined to stay on the shelves. And anytime that you would attempt to get to his level, he's got at least enough time to recover and get one spell out while you're doing that. Definitely need to keep agility down. Or risk down and agility up. For reference, you would see that I have not actually had to use, or did not allow these jerks to live long enough to need to recover magic points in the past. This guy, though, does. Unfortunately, as you can see, I'm really in a bad way. I've lost my buffs, and he's just lost his debuff. And since I'm so bad at hitting him, I have not really accumulated enough magic beyond just enough to apply Magic Ward. On the plus side, since he was so inclined to jump up onto that high shelf, he took his sweet time and allowed me to get a couple of hits in. The one bad thing about the quick menu is sometimes it just does not want to show up and then you hop like a moron. Mercifully, he didn't take advantage of that. And I finally knocked out his legs. And I knocked the rest of them out. Good riddance. Now, if you're anything like me, sometimes you watch LPs in the background and just listen to whatever's going on. I'm asking you, if that's what you're doing, please stop. Please start watching right now, because this is probably the best cutscene in the game. I mean it. Please, if you're not able to watch it, please wait until you can. I mean it. Give me that old-time religion. The fuck, Ninja Schoolgirl? Why are you there, aside from to let this happen? I mean it, pay attention. When I first played that, I actually thought it said Def Axis, not Delta. So, that was a thing. A lot of layers there. Were Sydney's dreams of a bloodthirsty tyrant meaning him? Guildenstern? I mean, even though Sydney seems to have his head squarely tight on his shoulders, and he obviously doesn't really want this power anymore. So if he were to give in fully, he might have been that blind tyrant in his nightmares. Guildenstern definitely is, though. But, yeah. Sydney is the eldest son of Duke Bardorba. There's more that I wish to say about it, but I have to wait until the next video in order for it to really sink in, since there's still some things left unsaid. If you can remember, this was around the same time as The Sixth Sense and the other types of movies where the big twist was the theme of the generation. And that was I think I actually played this before I saw The Sixth Sense, so it was a very nice twist, especially when you see that it isn't out of left field, it is laid out. I'm not entirely sure why these things are here. They accomplish nothing. Now for this fight, I set up a shield with angel pearls. And I was strongly debating on whether or not I wanted to use Fairy Wing, but decided to face tank it. This is the last dragon of the playthrough, the Archdragon. I remember this being a lot nastier than it is, but as you can see, it also does magic point damage. So first things first, get back my magic points. Next thing, realize that that is not going to work. Go to lead bones instead. And now that I am safely underneath his face and I can't take another holy breath attack, at some point I'm going to switch to halberd. Right now. And here is a Cursed Umbra. I'm trading the 10% agility debuff for mind, agility, and strength debuffs. Besides, this is basically geared for my dragon slaying weapon, so he is really, really screwed. The only thing saving him is my moderately high risk. That's not saying much when I can actually take off over 200 hit points of damage with a critical. Kinda surprised he hasn't bothered to attack. Not complaining. I'm really shocked that Ashley doesn't take any damage from that. So that's the final non-boss in this dungeon. Nothing respawns, so right now it's just one more boss and the final boss. This is... I'll put all that out, because it is technically true. This last sigil opens up that one door that the flame dragon in the flame dragon's room that I could not open at the time. One last puzzle. The goal is to wait for it. Get those frictionless cubes over. Well, singular. Only one is needed. But it needs smooth terrain, no potholes or anything in its way. Could almost make this, but I'll play by your rules game after I get yeah, there we go. Promenade. This fellow is Nightmare. No, unusual djinn names or anything for Dark Elemental guy. Just Nightmare. Nightmare is the butt monkey of the 5. Not only does he lack the name, which there is, like the Dow Moon Pearl and all the other Moonstone and all the other things like that, there is a high-tiered dark gem. I'll spoil it right now since we won't see it this playthrough. It's the Beryl Black Pearl. Beryl being, depending on, how they translate it, Belial, Belias, Velius, all those other names from Final Fantasy Tactics. But nope, he's Nightmare. The other thing is, whereas all the other Devas had a high level elemental spell, he just gets Dark Chant, Meteor, and Curse. Things you've seen before, and at this time I thought that he might have something useful, but despite drawing the game out a little bit and giving him every opportunity to prove me wrong, he doesn't. Just a chump. And he's just shrugging like, what? I really just can't blame him, and he's just shrugging like, what am I gonna do, huh? Can you believe this? Just clutching his head in despair. That and his goofy hat. He reminds me of that one 6th grader in South Park that has his own face on his t-shirt. I hate that kid. And I hate this guy too. Analyze this. And really, I'm giving him every opportunity to do something, even though he's absolutely destroyed. And at this point, I just realize he's not doing anything. He's not worth it. One last shot. Come on. Give me everything you got. Nope. Fine. I'll give you the death you so desire. Pathetic. At the very least, he gave me an agility boosting potion. And here we stand at the end. Just need to go through the motions for the next few minutes. Here's that one cloudstone that early on in the dungeon we unlocked. And slow crossing across. I should mention it since I didn't actually take a good screenshot of a completed map. Like other cathedrals, like actual cathedrals, are oriented like a 4-pointed cross. This one actually does have the asterisk shape, so the 6-spoked architecture along most of the floors. Again, a nice touch. A good detail that shows that these guys actually kind of did their homework rather than just tossing things around as they are wont to do sometimes. I think it's actually at this point where it really does sink in that I've been robbed of my my holy spell. What I'm going to do before facing the final boss, I'm going to make that right. I'm going to do a little bit of farming and get that spell book. This is my last loadout. Want holy stuff? Want my best evil weapon? Even though I have a better shield, I want light defense. The moan is all the way down. This is the last save point in the game, called the Atrium. This is where all that went down. I think that might be a stained glass representation of St. Jochus. See you next time when we finish the game.